I thought you were going to say birthday stories. From this. I got to clean my phone out.
You were telling a story, and I just said, let's press record because I've never heard of this before. You were passed at the Comedy Store, and then...
Are we live?
On.
Yeah.
And then unpassed.
You know, I'll tell you, I'm going to say this. I'm here.
Yeah.
You were so nice to me on 2 accounts.
Oh, that's nice.
When I first started doing stand-up.
Yep.
And when I was in New York.
Yep.
And then you put me on the show at the Stand.
Frantic, the Monday night show.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Which was so cool of you because I'd been not doing stand-up very long, and I was in New York, and I was trying to get up, and I got up at the Cellar, which was nice. No, but hold on. But that's the thing. It's like, it's good to be able to sit with like the 1,000-pound weights and watch other people lift.
Right.
It was cool to be in that environment, but like that was, Esty, they're so nice over there, but I remember hitting you up and you being like, come do the show, which was super cool. And then when I went to Vegas just to see the clubs, I did like a guest 5 or 10 ahead of you at the Improv.
That was the first time. Forgotten about that.
That was the first time, and I remember thinking like you were really like that was a super cool thing of you. And all I remember was the audience was like, it looked like an open call.
Oh man, for
Cocoon,
dude. That is that.
They were so. Everybody looked like the middle stage of looking at the Ark of the Covenant. I don't think most people made it through that set.
I don't understand why. First of all, I had forgotten about the Vegas thing.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. Okay, cool. You're welcome. But thank you for being nice and cool and sticking to your time. And you know, Ian Bagg was here last week talking. Jerry Seinfeld pops in on his set. And Ian's like, hey, his whole thing was never leave comedy on the side.
Totally.
If there's good comedy, bring it to the show.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was great. But people think in Michigan, I'm from Michigan, you're from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
People think, oh, once you play Vegas, you know, you've made it. And it's like, if you see the audiences that we're performing for,
it's actually the opposite.
It's the opposite.
Once you play Vegas, you realize that you're not in your agent's top 10 anymore.
Correct.
If they're just like peddling you out, because here's the thing what people don't understand, and I'm telling your audience, they know, it's 1,000 shows.
Yeah.
And it's like,
thanks, Brenton. See you, buddy.
Good to see you, bud.
Our social media manager / comedian / friend just left.
But with Vegas, you have to play so many shows, and they don't want them long, because they want them back in. It's like when they do a musical, when they do Phantom, it's like the recap show of Phantom. It's the Talking Dead of Phantom. Like it's that. Like there's the hits. It's like 3 of the big ones. They want you back on that casino floor.
So you first got Two Broke Girls?
Yeah.
And when did you decide to start doing stand-up? Or were you previously a comedic performer?
No. I mean, I had done like sketch and improv, but the thing was when you get a TV show like that and then they say, hey, you're coming back for second season, it's great, but you can't take another job in case they get pushed and it conflicts, because that's always in first position is what it's called. And so I was sitting at the Improv on Melrose with Ian Edwards and Taylor Williamson, who were just 2 buds,
good peeps.
And they were like, "You should just try stand up." Because I was just hanging out. I was at Juice. It was a Wednesday night. I was just coming to hang out with buddies, and I was like, "Yeah, I should," because my excuse was always time. I didn't have time. And now I had all the time in the world because they hire you. You're on contract. It's a good job. But you can't do shit for the rest of the time. You have to get approval. They give you 2 guests, which Warner Brothers has done. I got approval to do an animated thing.
That's nice.
Which was really kind because they didn't have to be. So, but for jobs, you know, the show it was so big, but I play a Russian or a Ukrainian guy in the show, so people don't know who I am.
Which it's Ukrainian.
It is Ukrainian.
Okay,
he started as Russian, but
that's why you started as Russian.
I started as Russian, and then Putin took over.
He invaded.
I'm from Crimea in this show. No, but it was one of those things where they made a joke about the Ukraine, and it rhymed with sex pain. So
gotta go with it.
A legend was born.
This is our by the way, these are brilliant TV writers, But this is how someone's character changes that quickly.
It does.
Sex pain rhymes with Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right. And there's like Russia, there's Prussia. We came up with a ton of them. But that was the one that seemed to hit for the audience.
Sure,
and so,
right.
We made the joke where it's like, I guess now he moved and didn't know.
Right.
And so it became, it's an overnight thing. But people, I have a long hair and a beard, and in life, I looked like you before the show. I had no beard, short hair.
Yeah.
And so I had to keep it because I didn't know how long I'd be able to take to grow back, or we didn't have a start date. So I was like, I just got to keep this look.
And this was for season 1.
Yeah, between season 1 and season 2.
So you don't even know if the show is a success yet.
We had gotten picked up.
Okay.
And that we premiered to almost 20 million.
Are you fucking serious?
It was crazy. It was so weird. And I had a viewing party at my house, and it was like me and 4 buddies or something, and pizza.
And what's funny about this is you are a completely different person. You know, like you're dressed like the fucking Russians, Ukrainian weird guy.
Yeah.
You don't talk with the own. So you almost the fact that you can then go do stand up as Jonathan Kite is kind of dope.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Because I thought nobody, I would try to get auditions, and they would say, we're not looking for a Russian.
Yeah,
guy.
and they have no.
And my agents were like, he's not. He's not.
Such a stupid industry.
It's so weird, and so I was like, I gotta get out there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: people will say, I've heard of Two Broke Girls or I've seen the show.
Yeah.
But if ever I want the good thing about stand up is like it's me, and they can see me in a completely different light, looking the same way.
Yeah.
So that was something that I thought, you know what, maybe that can help me kind of separate myself and kind of get my own voice out there, because obviously
and
on the show,
do stuff while you're waiting.
Totally,
yeah.
Because we don't know. We're lucky. We're in the middle of season 6.
Wow.
But it's like every year you just never know, and the competition is so stiff. In the world, I mean, with Netflix and Amazon and cable and
season 6. Right now,
it's crazy.
Wow.
We're waiting to hear back to see if we get season 7 right now.
So where are you on the phone call on that? What number are you? Because
1,000.
1,000? Because it's. I mean, you're a series regular. You've been, but it's not Jonathan Kite's show.
No.
So who do they call first?
I think that it gets. Well, people kind of know this is how it's worked out in years past, and then they'll announce it like at a table read or like at a rehearsal.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of get the official.
And then you just everyone go crazy.
And then everyone's like really happy, and it's like that scene from The Matrix when you're down in Zion, that city, and there's just people sweating and dancing, and they're like, "We'll beat the machines," and and that's really what it is. And so for us, when we found out last time, the crazy thing was, we were on set, so it was just like the crew, the really tight skeleton crew that we used, and we weren't filming, we were just rehearsing. So it was like it was like that old show, Just the 10 of Us. But it was like 10 of us found out, and then. But I'll tell you this: when Jennifer Coolidge got hired, who plays my now wife on the show, I found out from Deadline.
Wow.
We had no idea. I didn't. Maybe I missed the call or whatever, but I had no idea.
Well, they got to call lawyers. They got to call agents. They got to call network. They got to call it's just like that always makes me laugh. Like the logistics of it. Like when an athlete gets traded, I'm always like, who do they call? Like the athlete? Like the.
I wonder if sometimes they say that though. They go. They go. I found out in the news.
Or the fucking Mets guy last year. He got traded to the team they were playing. So he had to just walk over to the other dugout, and I was like, Jesus!
It was like that Will Ferrell special on HBO where he just switched teams. They had a jersey weight. That was a scary thing because they knew.
I just want to be clear. Jonathan Kite in the last 30 seconds made a Matrix reference, Just the 10 of Us, and a Will Ferrell HBO special. That's a wide breadth of references.
You know what's crazy is I'm trying to watch TV. Here's the thing about stand-up. So because I did impressions on the sketch show for Jamie Foxx, like right before Two Broke Girls. So
and that's what led to this.
Yeah, that's what kind of. But then you realize the internet kind of overdoes somebody.
Sure.
Like so. In order to bring a new perspective on it, because I was doing Trump 2 years ago before he was even considered a candidate, and I had a bunch of Trump material because I just shot my special this past summer. But we took out the Trump material at the time. People weren't doing it, and now everybody does a Trump impression.
Yeah, true.
So that was one of the things. So to separate it, so I started watching more TV just to kind of figure out where the zeitgeist is at, where people are at, and it's funny. I watched. I was watching a show last night on HBO about prisons.
Dude, I just watched.
Was it the one about? It's like the.
I just watched the Netflix 13th one.
Is that about jails?
That's about 13th Amendment is when we abolish slavery, but how we then just remade slavery and just put them all in jail.
Yeah. That's right, like, corporates. Yeah.
Don't watch that before bed, dude.
Dude, I was watching the prison one, and I legitimately felt like I was in prison.
Yes, and it's like we're so privileged.
Oh my God!
Yet here I am, like, don't watch it before bed. Meanwhile, there's all these dudes in fucking prison.
Who are living it. Who are living it. Our supposed nightmares.
And we're like, oh, I can't watch.
You could just watch something else.
Yeah, I could.
But you did watch that just to say, don't watch that.
Because my life is good, so I want to watch something shitty.
Oh yeah, they don't even have TV. They have nothing. This one guy, they're walking around like a 5-foot pen, like, you know that show Pitbulls and Parolees? There's like this great down there, like, but it's a dog show. I used to have a pit bull, so the dogs like are in these little cages. That's what they have on that.
Solitary confinement
is just.
It doesn't. First of all, I don't think it works. Second of all, it just seems like
it only worked for the Count of Monte Cristo.
Right, that was the only person.
The revenge tale, to better themselves because of it.
Learned how to escape.
Learned from an old man, became rich. Spoiler alert.
I still do this
on
thing
that book.
When people come to my house, in that book, which I prefer the book, when you're in those like noble aristocratic, and if you were my friend and you were coming to a party, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, may I present Jonathan Kite. I still do that. I love from that book.
That's
so now
great.
If you were to come over to my house and there's one person there, it's like, may I present?
I want to hire
no one ever gets it.
An old white guy in a wig.
That would be great.
Not like an Elton John wig, but like a
right.
And then just to have him go, Lord Costa.
Yeah, is our Highness has arrived or something. I love
they had those invitation cards.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so that's the way to live.
Yeah, let's do it. Season 6 money could maybe get you there.
Season 7
money would get you.
Yeah.
So your first 2 seasons are already negotiated, usually 2 or 3.
6.
Are you fucking kidding
that's TV standard contract.
This is a big jump.
So this is the big, I mean, it's fun. Like, the show's going so well, and we have a new showrunner this year, this woman, Michelle Nader, who's amazing.
That must have been a big change.
She was on since day one, so it's good that they didn't bring in, like, somebody,
like an Aaron over there.
Yeah.
Right,
well,
you know what I mean?
Wow. He's just showing me a script he wrote right now. You guys can't see. I'll read it, buddy.
We'll read it.
But yeah, so it's a new kind of blood, which is cool, and I really think, we got into syndication very early on, so the show is doing quite well. We're very lucky.
This is this is like your first big gig.
Yeah.
The Jamie Foxx thing you had mentioned.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, look, here's the good news.
Yeah.
You were smart and to get going on this stand-up thing pretty early. So now how many years are you into stand-up?
4.5 years.
Okay, and are you touring now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I shot the special this past summer.
Wow.
And
Where was that? Why'd you decide to shoot it?
I shot it at my high school.
Oh, cool.
In Skokie, Illinois. So it's called my Back to School special.
I love it.
And it was in the auditorium.
I love that.
Dude, it was great. The teachers came out. It was like a This Is Your Life. It was so fucking cool, and
Did you have a good relationship with them in high school?
Yeah, it's funny, when I was doing like sort of the press for it, a lot of people that I talked to were like, "I bet you hated high school, or was high school terrible for you?" It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of great. Like
you a theater guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I spent formidable. Time on that stage.
That's so cool. You were comfortable there.
Yeah. And so, but it's surreal to be back because I hadn't really been back. My father and I, especially with the Trump thing going on right now, I guess we look like people that harm children because we tried to go back in terrorism into the high school, and there's so much security now. And so we just said, and now it's really cool because everybody kind of knows me, not just because I'd been there like rehearsing and like setting up and everything.
Sure.
But I remember we did not have security. We had like, we had a guy, the security guard's name was George. He was the nicest guy.
Sure.
He was like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
He was like in a leather coat. I don't know if he had weapons on him. He was like buddies with everybody.
Right.
And it was like one guy border patrol.
Yeah.
And
we had Officer Pageant.
See, we didn't even call him Officer. We called him George.
We called her Officer, but she was in street clothes, and she was just keeping an eye.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me it's fucking different?
Oh, dude, it's like the high school has their own TSA.
Jesus.
There's metal. It's crazy.
Skokie? Skookie's good.
I mean, the Nazis marched there like forever ago. I'm not sure if we're like thinking they're coming back.
That's what it is, maybe.
Yeah.
You can never be too
you
careful.
You can't kill those sneaky Nazis. But they, so we're there.
Yeah.
We shot at the high school. My high school director is the head of the fine arts department now, so he was so instrumental in having it. The guy who did the lighting design for us in high school did the lighting design.
For your fucking special, and where is it airing?
Crazy.
I'm sorry.
So we're right. No. We're in talks. I produced it myself.
Oh, love it.
So we have we're meeting with a bunch of people right now. We're shopping it now.
Okay, good.
The premiere is we're doing a screening premiere at Warner Brothers tomorrow.
Wow,
which has been so exciting.
Does Oleg make an appearance?
He doesn't, and that's the kind of reason that I think that I got into it is because I wanted so much to not disconnect myself, but the public perception. The show is so successful that people think I'm that guy.
I didn't mean to ask you that. Like that's who. Like that he should. I meant to ask you that. Like, are you you're separating both of these?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Yeah. So when I used to go on the road, the show was so so successful. The shows would do so well. I would sell out.
I love it.
And then people would expect this to be like an inside the actor's studio, an evening with Oleg. I swear to God, it was like a snifter of vodka,
which you wouldn't even want an evening with Oleg.
No, if you,
have you seen the show, guys? He wouldn't want.
I was going to say I'm wearing a robe and I'm doing a Sharon Stone Basic Instinct style in a rotating Bond villain chair.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you don't, to me, I think but I did it in China where I answered people's questions.
Okay.
And because I think that there was such a language barrier and that was the thing they solely knew me. I did like an hour and a half in China.
Wow.
And so I did a bunch
the show is syndicated means everywhere.
But internationally, it's one of the biggest shows in the world.
Jesus
We're the biggest show in China.
I love that.
And so I could do stand up there in a theater, and it was it's surreal.
Wow.
But the thing is, I remember I was at a show, and people would just yell out Oleg, or like they would want to hear about this. And
Oleg.
But I'm not even talking about Two Broke Girls. It never comes up. And there's a guy I remember.
You're not dressed like Oleg. No. You're not speaking like him. If anything, you're doing an impression of somebody else.
I'm in a suit and a tie.
Yeah, you're looking like a fucking professional.
Like a guy, right? Yeah. Reservoir Dogs on stage.
Mr. Pink.
And they're still going, what's up with Sophie?
Yeah.
And so to dispel that, one time, this guy's in the front row, Sacramento Punchline, guy's in the front row with his arms crossed. Looks like he's waiting for a bus that's never coming.
Correct. This sounds like a nice Ukrainian fan.
And he is so just miserable, and I'm just looking at him like, what do you want to hear? Like a story? Yeah. So for every now and then I would tell a story. But it's something that I haven't done in a long time. Mm-hmm. I don't do it, in the very, very, very beginning. And then people started to get to know me as a stand-up, so I got to come out and do my own thing, which was awesome.
That's dope. Yep.
Yeah. So then I can now and so now when I do it, people don't yell out that. Yeah, okay. I was in St. Louis. This woman yelled out Oleg, and I kind of had like fun with her in front of everybody. Yeah. And the audience was on my side.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a few years ago they were on her side.
We were just talking to Marilyn Ricecub, and
Love her.
She played Chloe in 24, which is a dramatic actress who could I don't know, Aaron would know, but could save the world through computers. And now she does stand up. And she's I would get people showing up being like, we wanted to see Chloe. And you're like, Chloe would not be a good 1 hour stand-up.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, but they don't realize that because the idea of something, and because people ingest social media at such a fast rate, there's never any expansion on it in their minds.
Yeah.
Like there's a minute on Instagram, that's all it has to be. So I did this is one of my favorite times when that kind of was about to affect a job. So last summer I did a corporate gig for these attorneys up north in California, in Monterey, and they go, okay, well, so you'll be doing an hour of political humor.
Okay.
And I was like, I was like, no, why would you think that?
Yeah.
And they go, we saw a BuzzFeed video where you did an Obama and a Trump impression. I said, do me a favor, take out a stopwatch.
Yeah.
Time how long you saw me do that, and then tell me if you want me to do that for an hour and a half. And they were like, well, we thought you were a political satirist or humorist. I said, why would you think that?
Yeah.
I said, the video is 6 minutes long. That's only a fraction of the video. Why wouldn't you think that I was any of those other things? No. So they make the decision in their mind.
Yeah, they've decided. Not to mention, it's not like your agent, he pitched you the right way.
He absolutely did not. I've never been accused of that, good or bad.
He didn't say this guy only does politics. Yeah, he didn't say that. Yeah.
No, and it was so funny. And the woman looked like I had all the blood drained from her body.
Oh,
and she was just like, well, we got to figure this out because we need you to have a clean set.
I promise I'll be funny, bitch.
Well,
okay?
dude, that's
Just
what. So they
let
go.
me do
So
my
she
job.
started doing. She goes, you can't talk to the audience. So if they heckle you, you can't talk to them back. And they hadn't paid me yet.
Yeah.
So I was, and they were attorneys. So I thought to myself, like, well, don't withhold the money.
That's hilarious.
And it was exactly
Because of all the people,
of course, of all the people that I can't get away with, I wasn't like, show me the money. Just show me the money. Open the case. Show me the money. And it was one of those things where I was. They go, you can't swear. I go, well, I have this joke about spousal abuse. Like, you can't do that. Right. So I started running through my jokes, and they were like, no. And I go, there isn't the thing that you think that I do.
Yeah.
You created that story in your head. Correct. I don't do that thing. And I can't think of, I landed an hour before the show, or 2 hours. I go, I can't write an hour's worth of material that you think that you have and she told everybody that's what I did.
Oh, man.
Based off of, so that's the thing is like, so when people come to the show, there's nothing wrong with that.
So how did it go?
It sucked. I mean, it was, but I got paid, so who cares?
I appreciate you being honest.
No, I am. I don't care.
Corporates are, I mean, they can be, I've had some good ones, but it can also just be.
Well, the
like
money,
this.
so people know this, like, guys like Legend, Spade, Carvey, they do them, their money is so good. Yeah. And, there's enough, I mean, those guys have been working forever. I'm sure they do, new material, but it's like, people just want them there. They like them. Yeah. If they know, even, I feel like David Spade is like, can be dirty, doesn't have to be. Like, if he throws out an F-bomb, people are like, it's Spade.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, exactly. But for me, they think he's a guy who's on a network show where they don't swear. Yeah. But I said, number one, the network show, I'm the most sexually aggressive person on television that's not on Locked Up Raw.
If you swore, you probably would have to tone down how aggressive the character sexually has to be.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But
but they're also old. There's a group in the back who was like these young people, these millennials who like got it. Yeah. But the thing is, the reason our show is it's not gratuitous, number one. Yeah. And number two, this is how people talk. This is how young people talk. Yeah. That's our demo. Yeah. So we're just being what we think is a reflection of the way it's working in the States today. Yeah. These people, they have an idea that you're on a show. They think it's probably Cheers in their head. Right. They're like, they remember Barney Miller. Right. I mean, just old stuff that, that people are like, well, that was safe. This must be safe too. Yeah. And you go, no. So they don't really know the show. Because I told the woman, I go, do you know who I play on the show? And I couldn't even remember if she'd seen it. Yeah. So they hire this guy who plays a sexually aggressive cook, right? Who's like, I was naked in last week's show. They're going to blur out my thing. I
love that. And, how naked were you on the show?
Completely naked. I had just a little bit of a nude, like thong over me
on the dick,
on the dia. Yeah. And so that was it, though. That was it. And then
I'm wearing one right now. I never know how this thing's going to turn out.
Yeah, but you can't see us. We don't have pants.
We don't have pants on.
But they I just wanted to wear a thong that looked like pixels.
Yeah, like just a super long,
like a witness protection program, like a blue dot.
They do make masks like that.
I know, I've seen it,
which would be pretty.
But
cool.
I want one for boobies and dingles.
Yeah, that are just.
And then if you have the blue one, it's just like a giant blue ball.
Yeah, that would be good.
But yeah, so we have that, and that with corporate. So I want to play. My point is, I'm on here to try to get corporate jobs.
Okay, here we go.
Worst birthday. This is my plug. Worst birthday. To finish what we were talking about with the top, so I got passed by the store.
Oh, yeah.
And then by Tommy.
Yeah.
And then he was like, we're not passing.
I know, I've never heard this.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And the thing is, he goes, well, some of the comics don't think you've been doing stand-up long enough.
Yeah.
And I said,
someone got in his ear.
I said, but should it matter? If I'm not funny or I don't have the experience, but I've been performing on stage my whole life, and I was already passed at the Improv and at the Factory. Yeah. But I understand that each is its own world, and I respect those worlds. Sure. I did not come in there and say, well, just so you know, Tommy didn't even know I was past those places.
Sure.
But it was one of those weird things, and so it kind of just turned me off.
For sure.
Because Tommy had that, like, it's an artist community. Yeah. And then I think, well, what a corporate bullshit move.
I mean, that's like if the veteran baseball player goes up to the manager and he's like, look, I know this new guy keeps hitting home runs. Yeah. But this is his first year.
Dude, totally.
So we can't have the rookie get a good contract.
Absolutely.
Like, if you're funny, it shouldn't matter.
They're not bumping like Chappelle.
Yeah.
For old Kite.
And you're not asking for that.
No,
you're you're asking for a place to perform.
I was just asking to be able to put in avails.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, and I never had.
There's a new manager now. It's a new club.
I've heard.
I'm sure you've heard from everybody.
Yeah. So it's a different club.
We'd love to have you back.
It's great. I still hang out there. Even when I'm not performing, I still hang.
When is your birthday?
September 2nd.
September 2nd.
I'm a Virgo.
Okay, yeah. And I'm a September birthday. You also went to University of Illinois.
Yeah.
As did I, which is interesting.
I don't think I knew that.
I don't think we knew that either. I found it out doing research on my guest.
Wow.
What was the worst birthday you've had?
So with high schools growing up, or we'd always come back like the first week of September.
Yep.
And it was one of those, like, every year was a little bit of like 16 candles.
Okay.
Because
explain why.
Because like people forget, like if you haven't seen the movie, they forget it's Molly Ringwald's birthday.
Yeah.
So in our school, everybody, it was like a huge thing where not necessarily for guys, but girls would always decorate. But the girls would decorate a guy's locker.
Sure.
It'd be a big thing.
Yep.
And it'd be a cool thing. But for whatever reason, that committee, the Pier 1 squad did not get their supplies delivered until like September 3rd. They never came in early enough, so people would be like...
It's a big thing in high school, especially if there's the girls you like. If they decorate your locker, it's like, yes, but if it's just you show up that morning...
Dude, and it never happened. I feel like that's what should have happened in the opening of my stand-up special.
Right, you should have gone to your fucking
locker, just
and there's like the one next to you
Time
says
machine.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, everyone is like September 1st, September 3rd. What the fuck? But that's what. So
wasn't that Labor Day-ish? Usually?
Well, that's so. That was the other half of that. Okay. Most of the time, every 7 years or whatever, but enough. But if there was a leap year, it kind of screwed it. So there was like a year where it was. Saturday, Sunday, we were off Monday. It was a leap year. We were off another Monday. It was like 4 years in a row. We were never at school. And so I'm not even sure if I was in high school when I had a birthday.
You had a birthday. Did you wanted that locker decorated?
Yes.
Yeah. And how many students were what high school was it?
Niles North.
Niles North. Was it a big school?
Pretty big.
Yeah. And you're a likable, funny dude. You're working in LA. In high school, were you a likable, funny dude? Were you awkward? Were you
I don't
popular?
think I was as awkward as I am. I think I'm still pretty awkward, but I think that there was. I was
Except
acceptable.
You're funny, and so when you get later and you're awkward, it's like, doesn't matter,
different.
He's funny.
That's
but
right.
In high school, it's like just the football player is popular or whatever.
But we were lucky. The theater did very well.
Good.
And a lot of the guys and gals who were in theater, it was a good mix of people, of the popular kids. And so the shows did very well. So,
well, that's the thing, right? If they're janky shows, then it's like the theater nerds over here.
Absolutely.
But these were dope shows.
These were dope. And we had a lot of people go on from the department to do professional stuff, and the guy who runs it is a genius. He's this amazing guy, and he really made it. He made it important, and then we were like, it was important to us. So people really came to see, and we had a 1,000-seat theater auditorium.
That's remarkable. That's remarkable. Like I remember in my high school, it was almost like a prison sentence to have to go to the fucking, the play.
And that's a lot of people. There was like a class requirement.
And it was probably
they had to write a fucking
underfunded.
Report on it.
It was not their fault, but it was just like we were.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't get. I remember. Shout out to the football team. Yeah. I remember the football team getting new jerseys all the time. Niles North, what's up? You been good? But I had friends on the football team, but I remember like sports was always getting funding because that's what people show up to. That's what people donate to, But then I feel like not necessarily because of us, but this guy, he started as a freshman, our freshman year. He was a full-time theater professor. Yep. So we were the first seniors that he graduated, but he really made sure that the department got funding. Even now, that theater, so we had promoters and stuff like people that I hired to come like help us with the show.
Yeah.
They were impressed. Like you could tell that I'm not sure they were willing to show. I mean, they weren't like, shy about it, but I think they were like, wait, you went to high school here?
This is a nice ass fucking
thing. Really nice. I mean, the lights are incredible. They really put the time into it. And the thing is that we're now seeing how the arts can involve so many people, and now there's all these big plays that teach lessons about race and diversity, which it's there's so many amazing new playwrights, and they do new plays at the school.
I may do a special there called Back to Jonathan Kite School.
I'll open for you.
You open for me
at my locker.
Yeah, at your locker. We'll decorate it. So what the fuck? So you don't even think you did your high school years, you can't remember a September 2nd
I don't
birthday.
think I remember one my senior year because as I said it, I go, we did this thing called Director's Circle where we did a play, and I remember we broke down the set on my birthday.
Okay, that's real fun.
So that was it. That was it. But I'll tell you how I think of birthdays. I never think of my own. I used to work at Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
And
which one?
One
in Skokie?
Yes, for like a week. I mean, no, like 6-7 months. Yeah. Then I transferred out here. I only got the job so that I could transfer out here and guaranteed have employment.
Right. Okay.
So because everybody else I moved out here was like, I can't get a job,
and you're like, I'm
going to figure this way out. I'm going to mafia my way in. So I Sherman Oaks, the Galleria. I haven't worked there in like a decade. But
holy shit, I love this. This is fucking great.
I thought about going back just to get a job, like one summer, just to do it. Like just go back and work lifeguard at the pool.
You'd have to get approval from Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, yeah, but I'll say it's an undercover thing. I'm trying to play a server.
I'm actually learning how to cook.
I'm Daniel Day-Lewising. I actually had the job of Oleg when I was in college.
You did?
I was a grill cook.
You were a grill cook. That helps.
It does. Well, that's Michael Patrick King, who's our creator and executive producer. When he was great. He was like, does the kitchen look right? And I remember looking around being like, yeah, it's actually pretty good. I think people will believe this is a kitchen.
That's so fun.
Because you ever see that, like, I don't know, inconsistencies, like you ever work somewhere?
It drives me fucking
insane. And then you were like, oh my God, who the balls designed this?
I only notice in tennis, that's the only thing I ever have done at a high level.
Yeah,
but like there's a commercial out now and there's the tennis court and there's a scoreboard and all the scores aren't even possible in tennis. You know what I'm like? What?
Yeah.
Just fucking call anyone that plays
There's
tennis.
no advisor.
That just can't go like, there's not a 9 in tennis. There's never a 9.
Is it on there?
Yeah, it's fucking on there.
Oh my God, that's
Take
great.
the 9 off. You know, so they're like,
it's working though. We're talking about it now.
Yeah, it is working. Yeah, the advertisement's working. So
we would go to I worked at Cheesecake Factory, and we had
menus are just 58
yeah,
pages long.
It's
Come
there.
on.
You have to and they change every 6 months.
Oh wow.
So it helps with memorization, which is why I'm sure actors don't mind working there.
Okay.
But they what happened was people's birthday, your birthday.
Yeah.
Your girl comes over.
Yeah.
It's Miles' birthday. Can you sing Happy Birthday?
Yeah, which is everyone does
the
that.
worst.
Yeah.
But they don't ever want to pay for dessert. So they go, we want cheesecake. I go, great. Well, I show the menu. They go, great. We'll take the banana cream cheese.
Yeah.
So then we come over. I try to make it nice. I get like 3 or 4 buddies.
And you're the server at this? You're the server. Okay.
And
you got to grab them from their table.
From their section.
Meanwhile, they're fucking got to get the
they're doing that
Oreo
shit. So we did it for each other.
Yeah,
right. So there's a group of 4 of us that had pretty decent... we looked like an out-of-work boy band.
Sure.
And we would sing like a nice birthday.
Yeah,
and then almost every time the bill would come and your girlfriend would pull me over and go, the banana cream is on there.
Yeah.
And I go, I know. There's no way.
Yeah.
We couldn't make money if everyone came here and said it was their birthday.
It's not called the free cake.
Yeah, dude,
factory.
It's insane how many morons think that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Those slices are $8, $10.
They're delicious. They're enormous.
Why would I trust you? I didn't ask to see Michael's ID.
Yeah.
Like this is come on.
That's
and
true.
then they always don't tip you. So if that's the case,
now they're mad.
They're mad
End of the meal.
at their own.
No
I go,
tip.
why would you think that? It's like the same people with the political thing.
Yeah.
Why would you think that?
Yeah.
We never discussed it. They go, well, you should have told me.
Yeah.
And I said, I pointed to the thing on the menu. I didn't say free dessert.
Yeah.
They go, well, what if we didn't want cheesecake? I go, we would have brought them a sundae. So that's the other side of it. There's a little scoop of ice cream that looks like it's rationing. Ice cream is being rationed during the Depression.
Right.
And it's got like the saddest sprinkles. They don't even look appetizing. And then there's a candle in there.
You're allowed to give that to them?
Yeah, hold on. It's a Tiny Tim birthday. It fits in the palm of a Cabbage Patch. And when you bring that over, then if it was that scenario, your girl is like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you're fucked.
And I go, well, you said you didn't want to order cheesecake. Well, I didn't know it was going to be a piece of shit. I go, I don't have a PowerPoint presentation to email you about, because part of it is they just want to be mad about something. Like I ran it, and listen, I worked for that company for like 5 years. I actually don't have a bad thing to say about it. It was the people, there was always a point, birthdays were such a point of contention with them, you couldn't win.
Yeah.
Like the person was like disappointed that they had to pay for the thing that they ordered. Well,
they're already stressed. Their girlfriend or whomever is already a little bummed that you haven't met their expectation. because what this podcast is all about is people's
They're already bummed that you're taking them to Cheesecake Factory on their birthday.
They're bummed that they didn't go in a helicopter.
Yeah.
Their fucking expectation for their birthday is always too high.
Not met.
And now the guy has been stressed all day, or the girl.
Yeah.
And now he's got to pay $9.25 for fucking banana split cheesecake Oreo.
Even if the guy loves it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, that's the funny thing is the guy was happy, or like the girl was happy or whatever, but the other person was like, I'm like, you just bought a $15 salad.
That's funny.
And you're gonna. There's an issue with $9. I go look at the guy.
Yeah.
They act as if there's a feeling that they feel like they were had.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to throw a $9 thing on there, even though I pointed to the menu.
Yeah.
So then it got to the point where
this is every night, probably.
A lot of nights.
And
I mean, most people this
creates a birthday kind of, you're kind of standing back at all birthdays.
Well, that's the thing. Then I think to myself, by the end of then I learned my lesson. I mean, you think that it happened enough, but then you'd go, well, there's a pattern developing here. So then I would say, just so you know, you don't get a free birthday cake. But then when you say that, they get upset.
Yeah.
They're like, well, what do you mean? Why are we here? And you go, well, I thought you guys did that. My friend said they did that. I go, your friend is lying to you, and you're lying to me because you don't have any friends.
Right.
I was like, there's no way that happened. And then they
now you're arguing with the person that's about to tip you.
Then they get the manager, which happened.
Yeah.
The manager's like, oh, just give them a free piece of cheesecake, and then they still don't tip because they feel like they're put out by the conversation. It's just people being cheap pieces of shit.
What's the most popular cheesecake there?
Well, it's been. I mean, I haven't worked there in about a decade.
Yeah,
so
as
it's
you
been.
Shouldn't have, because you're a working
a decade ago, it was
comedian.
the Bush cheesecake.
Really?
No. Okay. I just mean he was.
He was in office.
He was in office. It was the. It was. There's a few of them. There was the Godiva chocolate cheesecake.
Oh, okay.
But that one, by the way,
that one's free with your birthday.
Yeah. Listen, by the way, we're just fucking over all the servers now who still work there. That was a $13 piece of cheesecake.
Wow.
Which it is a separate price than the other one. So when they were like, "What's the most chocolatey chocolate one in all of Chocolate Town?" I'm like, "It's this one." And then they go, "Oh, I thought you said they were $9." And I'm like, "The menu, look, the thing."
Yeah, you want a Chocolate Town.
On there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm like counting out nickels. I'm like, maybe I have $4 on me, so to shut you up. But the original is still. I bet that's still the most popular.
Were you the like? Man, our server's being really funny tonight.
Server, dude, that's all I did.
So it prepared you.
All I did was tell jokes.
Yeah.
I don't really think they have such a rule thing there that you got to play by. I think that I just kind of showed up, tried to make sure they had a great experience.
Yeah. What's the rule thing?
So they're timing you. Everything is like it is. It's
no
like
shit.
so you have to get drinks by 2 minutes. You have to do menu presentation, and there's actual buzzwords you have to hit.
Right.
And then if there's a secret shopper and you don't do these things and you go under a certain percentage, you're getting warning. You do it twice like that,
there's
get fired.
A secret shopper?
They have secret shoppers.
I love talking to Oleg from Two Broke Girls for 6 seasons, and I'm asking him about fucking the Cheesecake Factory.
This is what people want to know,
but
by the way.
This is fascinating.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The thing is, and you wear, now they don't have to wear all white, but I was like, this looks,
white.
Yeah, it's like a clan, family clan restaurant. Yeah. It's just like, it's just no, and then you just look, anytime you like rub up against something, that it just shows on your uniform.
Sure, of course.
And then the management is like, why do you look like shit?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
because you made me carry a Godiva chocolate cheesecake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why are we wearing the after of a Tide commercial?
Right.
Like this just isn't. So I think they switched it up a little bit. But the thing about Cheesecake Factory is like it's the thing, everybody knows it, which is great.
Yeah.
So people were always there. You made good money.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was so funny. And I'm not saying all the clientele.
No. But this is a memory that you will attach to birthdays.
Absolutely.
The rest of your life.
The singing was fun because some of my buddies, I'm still friends with them.
Yeah.
We would just go there and we wouldn't try to be annoying about it.
Yeah.
But we would make like a presentation.
Yeah.
And we would agree to do it for each other.
Okay.
And so there'd be 4 of us.
Yeah.
And then I remember like we did it in a dick way because like another table would hear us and be like, we want that birthday song.
Right.
And we were just like, no. Like, I don't like hire us to be this to be carolers.
And you guys never check the birthday, which I love because this was like in high school we would always go like, it's my friend's birthday, and they never checked. They must hate this.
Oh dude, I was like, there's no way it's that dude's birthday.
What was the song? You can't sing happy birthday to you.
We do. We had to sing happy birthday to you. But then I remember if we didn't like the person, we would flub the name.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like we would, we would. I wouldn't tell them the name, and then they would just go. Yeah, exactly. So we would get to enjoy that if we thought you were fucking us over.
I like that. That's funny. What did you do like this September 2nd? Now that you're over 18, you probably got a couple bucks in your pocket. You're wearing a nice camouflage pair of pants. What did you do on this birthday? Can you even recall?
I could only recall because I was going to do nothing.
Yeah.
And then my buddy, with a bunch of us, was like, "Do you want to go out in the marina?"
Okay.
So I think we all went out.
Where do you live? What part of town are you in?
Hollywood.
Okay.
And so not far.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you want to go out in the marina?" And I remember we were on a boat on Labor Day.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out.
That's great.
It was fun.
It was fun. And did anybody sing you happy birthday?
Thank God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Did my friends take me to a restaurant? See, that's the thing. Like, for me, at a certain age, like 30 was big. I had a huge party, wore a tuxedo, like rented out this whole upstairs of a bar. And then that was really fun for me. But I think you got it, like, there's like, now it's milestones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, like 34 wasn't like, what?
Yeah. And after like 27, where you're like, oh, I can rent a car now. What are you
gonna do?
Did anybody sing you happy birthday when you took down when you guys took down the set in high school? Do you remember that?
No, they did not.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what they do though for me on the show is we had rehearsal this year on my birthday, and they always bring us a cake.
That's nice.
And it was on set, and that was really nice.
That's fun.
And it's my birthday has been every single year. It's been on a day that we've had a rehearsal or something.
Great.
So which is like, this is the family. This is the time
these are your peeps, right?
Yeah, man,
you spend so much time.
So much time. We're there all day.
Yeah.
Every day, and it's almost to the point where it's weird when we're not there for the summer.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're all looking forward to summer break,
of course,
but I love the school system so much because you got to see your friends, you got to fuck around. Yeah. Now we're getting paid to fuck around, which is amazing. And then we have like summer break. Like, one of my favorite weeks in the whole year is the second to last or the last week that we're shooting the show.
Okay.
Because it starts to get warm.
Yep.
It's like we can feel summer break is around the corner.
It feels like fucking school again.
It feels like school is about to be out.
Especially in Chicago. Yep.
Dude, so that to me it's coming up in about a month or so.
Yeah.
And I remember we're still having so much fun, but you just have so much adrenaline. And I think it's such a weird situation for someone to be in, myself, outside of school as long as I've been.
Right.
And then I literally think of Days of Confused, where school's out for the summer, where we had to you like clear out your dressing room and we leave our shit there.
Someone else is going to be using the studio maybe, whatever.
Yeah, which is what happened last year. So everything goes in boxes and I'm like Alice Cooper on my phone. And it's just like, I'm like ripping up Trapper Keepers and like, where'd you get that? And I think that is really fun. And then we don't really say goodbye to this for the summer, but we all kind of go different places. Yeah. So
are you in accent around the set, or is it just is it just when the camera's
just
on?
When the camera's
That's
on.
it. Not even rehearsal.
I do a rehearsal, but it's not. I don't think it's as. You're kind of figuring out. Well, you're trying to figure out, because it's about rhythms, and we do it in front of a live studio audience. So you kind of gotta because you have to really figure it out. The thing is, I realize if you do something really hard and definite too much in your brain, it remembers that immediately.
Sure.
And so I want to see how the scene is flowing,
right? And
figuring it out, because when you're in front of a live studio audience, you only have a few takes of that scene, or they are like, it's not funny anymore, or like they've heard it already. Yeah. And so for me, I'm trying to figure out how it's going to work.
Yeah.
But it's interesting when people, because every now and then we'll talk like normal and the audience gets to hear us speak.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we're all imposters. Yeah. We're just like, we've lied to them forever. We're the Santa Clauses of TV.
Please watch Jonathan Kite on Two Broke Girls. He plays Oleg's last name.
Yeah, Golichevsky.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that one.
No.
And where can people find all the other things you're doing in your stand-up and other...
Jonathan Kite, Kite, and that's Twitter and Instagram. And then I have a website coming out. Do you have a website?
I do have a website. I spend a lot of time on it, michaelcosta.com.
We got to plug you.
No, we don't. But I find people go to them kind of now.
Yeah, well,
like, don't kill yourself over
No, I know. Yeah. I just kind of I'm putting it together right now.
Yeah.
But my name, there's this guy in England, and I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
For 20 years, he's an energy healer. And it says coming soon. And I go, I know you're British and I'm American, but I feel like the Queen's English might be different. What coming soon to mean. So it's so ridiculous because it's not coming soon. It never came.
Yeah, it's not.
So I reached out to him.
Yeah, good.
And he was like extorting me. He's like,
of course.
The extortion is like, how much money? And I go, what? I go, you're not even using this fucking site.
Is this on email then?
Everything. He owns all the domain names, all of them, every one of like all the names. And so for me,
that's so fucking annoying.
For a while, and then my old handles were something else, and we tried to get. Well, that's the thing is, if you reach out to people, and my PR team, by the way, like they're the best. I love them. I've had them for a while.
Yeah.
Jordan, who's my publicist, she is my family. Like I love her, and I know it's always her like job to go and talk to people that have my name and try to get this thing.
Right.
So we hit up this guy on Twitter one time who lived in I think North Carolina, who had Jonathan Kite. Right. So we
Twitter handle.
Yeah, we politely said, hey. Jonathan Kite is this guy on show, TV, whatever. We would like to purchase. I have it, by the way. And I thought about posting it on the website to like prove, because people were like, there's no way that story is true. I'm like, it is.
Yeah.
He goes off on this manifesto about how Hollywood is trying to fuck the little guy. And I was like, we were offering money. And he, by the way, so then what he did was he turned it into to me, and then he was an imposter and then did slander. He started ripping on the show.
So he made it like your picture.
Yeah.
And then I love it.
And then we of course, I go, dude, not the brightest bulb. Twitter immediately was like, goodbye, and then they took it from him.
Well, Twitter, that's what I was just going to say. I had a tiny show on E. Some guy had the name. We just kindly asked Twitter, and they just go, there you go, give it to the entertainment source.
Well, we were asking the guy.
We reached
out to him.
Yeah, I'm saying I wasn't being nice, and Twitter still sided with NBC Universal because it helps their brand.
Of course it does.
Of course it helps their fucking brand. But so I love that this guy slandering the show.
And then he was just like, he's like, I fucking hate this show. I hate being here. And then literally, because I checked back, lucky I just was checking in to see what he was. And let me just say, the email chain, the representative from my PR firm, she couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
It was like they were having two different conversations.
Right.
Well, he was saying, fuck your mom.
Yeah.
And she was saying, okay, so we understand that you're, like, it was literally two different conversations.
Right.
And the guy was just trying to engage, whatever. I don't begrudge him or anything. I mean, it's like,
it's funny.
You got your own stuff going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but this is real America. They don't like Hollywood.
No.
Yeah.
Trump.
They like the show.
They like Trump
that you're on, but they don't like Robert De Niro telling them who to vote for.
No.
Yes.
I remember my favorite thing about Trump when that whole thing was going on. Well, one of them was he was like, we don't need those celebrities. We have you guys.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny.
As if, I'm like, Jesus Christ. And, there's a lot of Trump supporters, I'm surprised, that didn't talk at his inauguration that are in Hollywood that have gotten super quiet since he got elected.
All of a sudden, there's a lot. Yeah.
3 Doors Down is not one of them.
So what is your fucking website now?
So I love suggestions, but right now it's official Jonathan.
Okay.
Kite.com.
Okay, Official Jonathan Kite is what you're thinking it's going to be.
I think so.
Did you think about doing comedian?
But
what if you act? That's
the thing is, I'm not like a stand-up, which I love so much.
Yeah.
Please come see me.
Yeah.
It's a hobby for me. Yeah. My main source of income is the acting. I put a lot of time and energy.
Sure.
Even like we shot both all Monday and Tuesday, and I did stand-up afterwards both nights.
Good, love it.
So for me, I'm very passionate about it. It's not something I'm just like, I'm using the cred of the show to be like, fuck, come see me, whatever. Like I'm very trying to, I respect the people that come, and I respect the art form and the comedians, but my site will have a ton of shit on it.
It's not all going to be comedy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd hate to be in a Holocaust drama. And they're like, listen, if you want to hear about the release day, go to comedian Jonathan Kite. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to think of,
that would be tricky.
But JonathanKite.com
is this fucking energy here.
Oh my God. I think I brought it up on every podcast.
How much money do these fuckers want?
So we offered him, I think, like $3,000 like 3,000.
Yeah.
And I think he countered offer with like 5 or 6. And I was like, wait, what?
It doesn't matter.
And that was years ago.
It doesn't matter. I mean, they'll just, anyone that wants to find you will Google you and find you, but you do need some rendition of your name. Or something.
Yeah, I wanted to do Jonathan Kite Energy Healer.
Yeah, it would be very fun.
And then I would get the most hits, and he would be like, oh, they're coming to his side.
It's like, I always wanted to name my album Michael Jackson's Greatest Hits. Like, are you allowed to do that?
Dude, I thought, well, Anthony Jeselnik called his Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah, sure. Right.
I wanted to name my first album, and I can't do it now, obviously, because it's back to school special. I wanted to name my first special Jonathan Kite's Greatest Hits Volume 2.
Right, and then it's just like...
It's just the first... People, where was the volume 1?
Volume 1 must be...
Never, yeah. You can't find it. That's how hot it is.
That's allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to say, like, Elvis Presley sings the big ones. Is like, I don't think I can do that.
But you can... Well, no joke, I was going to call it Star Wars. That was the thing that we talked about, my buddies and I, because we were thinking, what's the biggest brand? But then they own... Yeah. The order of those two words. But I was thinking
it's
maybe
like Super Bowl.
Wars Stars.
Yeah.
Like something that was, well, we were trying to come up with stuff.
Apostrophe Wars. Official JonathanKite.com for now. But just find him. Just go to Twitter at Jonathan Kite.
Instagram at Jonathan Kite.
Thank you for sharing your worst birthday.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, and it's just great to cross paths with you. So best of luck to you, man.
Thanks again for everything.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, buddy.